Gia, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. I'm Joe Pratt, keeping you informed of what's happening in the world. Happy birthday if it's yours today. You share a birthday with Tony Ivins, Jim Thorpe. Some consider him to be the best athlete ever. Ian Fleming, Jerry West, Gladys Knight, Rudy Giuliani, Patch Adams, John Fogerty, and Marco Rubio. Donald Trump's trial is hearing closing arguments today. Both the prosecution and the defense are giving closing arguments, and Judge Merchan has done what they call instructing the jury. That term, instructing the jury, is meant to keep the jury on track regarding basic procedures of deliberation and the substance of the law. In election news, the Libertarian Party held their convention and nominated Chase Oliver for president. Both Trump and RFK Jr. made a pitch to be the Libertarian nominee, but both were spurned in favor of Chase Oliver. Singapore, a country with virtually no land and 6 million people, has imported its food for a long time, but they want to change that. Singapore has a goal of 30-30, meaning that they want to produce 30% of their food by themselves by the year 2030. They will be using methods like hydroponics, using water but no soil, and rooftop farming, simply raising crops on the roofs of apartment buildings and houses. We are trying some of the same methods in our country to have a more stable and consistent food supply. In the economy, consumer confidence rose in May after 3 straight months of declines. The index was at 74.6 for May after 68.8 for April. A number under 80 signals a potential recession in the near future. More than 2/3 of respondents said they believe a recession is somewhat or very likely in the next 12 months. On the other hand, only 1 of 3 CEOs expect to see a recession in the next 12 months, 12 to 18 months, that is. Sales of existing homes went down in April, and consumers who said they plan on purchasing a home is at its lowest level since August of 2012. And retail sales were flat in April, neither up or down, and the unemployment, that is, ticked up slightly to 3.9%. But still at a great rate. It was the 27th straight month that the unemployment rate has been below 4%. Now, here's a different kind of race. Have you ever heard of cheese rolling at Cooper's Hill in England? Well, they roll a block of cheese down a steep slope at Cooper's Hill, and the first person to get to the bottom of the hill by chasing the cheese gets the 7-pound block of cheese. This sport has been going on since at least 1826. And in the more conventional sports world, the Boston Celtics became the first team to qualify for the NBA Finals by sweeping the Indiana Pacers. They won by 3 yesterday, and now they await the winner of the Western Conference. That series resumes tonight with Minnesota taking on Dallas, who leads that series 3-0. They play in Dallas tonight and could sweep the Timberwolves as well. In racing, a couple things to note over the weekend. In Formula One, Charles Leclerc made history by being the first citizen of Monaco, to win the Monaco Grand Prix, which is Formula One's premier race of the season. The local fans were, of course, beyond ecstatic. And the Indy 500 was delayed 4 hours on account of rain, but they did conclude the race, and Joseph Newgarden won the race. He won it last year, and that's the first time we've had a back-to-back winner in 20 years. Kyle Larson was trying to run the double. The double is racing in the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 in the same day. That's 1,100 miles of racing in a single day. He didn't make it, however. He took 18th at the Indy 500, and then because of the rain delay, he got to the Coca-Cola 600 about halfway through the race. And NBA and college basketball legend Bill Walton died yesterday from cancer at the age of 71. He won 2 NCAA championships and 2 NBA championships in his career. In religion, today's quote comes from the Jewish Torah, Deuteronomy 10:18 and 19. For the eternal, your God, is God supreme and Lord supreme, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God who shows no favor and takes no bribe, but upholds the cause of the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, providing food and clothing. You too must love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. A new survey has found that the average American has 10 extraordinary days each month. So most people think that that comes out to a third of all their days each year are not only above average, but extraordinary. And when asked how they would describe a joyful life, being happy is number 1, being healthy is number 2, having positive personal and family relationships is number 3, and feeling comfortable is number 4. So more people are having happy lives than we generally talk about. There's a secret going on in Tennessee that I'm going to reveal to you now. It involves 9 women, the 9 nanas, they call themselves. Their deeds have been so secret that their own husbands didn't even know what they were doing. For 35 years, they've kept a secret that they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and bake dozens and sometimes hundreds of pound cakes. And they give these pound cakes away with a note of encouragement or with other gifts that they've heard someone needs, like a blanket or clothes for children, or they will anonymously pay a person's utility bill. It started 35 years ago when they were playing cards together, and someone threw out the question, what would they do if they had $1 million? And they decided they would help people in need and help people to be happy. So they started doing their own laundry and pooling together the savings from that and started clipping coupons, and they came up with about $400 a month, which enabled them to bake all these pound cakes and also have money to pay people's utility bills or buy some children's clothes or whatever else people in the community needed. They became expert eavesdroppers, listening at the beauty shop for someone in need, or at church or ball games. They would hear people talking about tough times that someone or a friend was experiencing, and they would drive around neighborhoods looking for any signs of things people might need, like if they had a fan running in the windowsill and knowing that their air conditioning had gone out. So they would hear people talking about these tough times and what someone was experiencing, and they would do their best to meet the needs. They kept it a secret for 30 years until one day one of the husbands of the 9 nanas was asking about certain expenses from their bank statement that he didn't recognize. So they called an emergency meeting, and the 9 nanas came clean. The husbands, rather than getting angry, decided they wanted to help as well. So both the money coffers and the eavesdroppers' numbers grew, and they were able to reach and touch more lives. Most of the time, their gifts were anonymous, with a note saying simply, "Somebody loves you." They're getting close to their original wish of $1 million, as they've estimated they've given away about $900,000 in money and goods over the years. The 9 nanas say simply, "We want to make sure that happiness happens." Joe Pratt, make it a great day.